If you can come to understand how these three universal laws play with each other, work with each other, how they function with each other in your life, if you come to the power of being able to master these three universal laws, then I guarantee you that you will be much further in establishing yourself as a person who attracts abundance in your life. See, many of you are doing your hoping, your wishing, your praying, you're meditating, but you're just not getting ahead in life. And I'm going to show you three different universal laws of the 7 that if you just take these three in hand, control them, understand them, utilize them to their fullest potential, you'll then be able to move forward in your life. And let me tell you, as they say, the devil is in the details. As I told you guys many times before, no. Success is in the detail. God is in the detail. Heaven is in the detail. Abundance is in the detail. However you want to say it. So what's up, everybody? How you doing? This is your Coach Renz, and I want to thank you for taking a few moments to spend this time with me so that you can get these three things. Now, if you're finding me for the first time, we talk about the 360 degrees of life. We talk about your health, your wealth, your relationships, and your spirituality, all wrapped up into one channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. That's why some of y'all don't know when I drop new videos or do a live, because you didn't hit the bell icon. So hit the bell icon. And if you're finding me on Facebook, go ahead, like the page. Like the Coach Renz page. All right, so that you'll be up to date on everything that's going on as well. And I want to thank all my Patreons. I appreciate you guys, for your support, and everybody who buys popcorn from Uncle Renz Popcorn. That's the letter U, the letter R, the word popcorn.com. And all my Coach Renz supporters who are going through the Financial Alchemy program or the meditation program or whatever program that you're going through. I appreciate you guys as well. So I know many of you saying right now, would you just get to the point? Well, I'm getting to the point. Slow your roll. You'll be okay. But here's the deal. So I recently experienced something. And in that experience, it reminded me of how I keep swinging in the same pattern, in the same direction. And many people won't be able to understand this in their own lives. So I'm going to use like a very, not so much drastic, but something that probably hasn't ever happened to most of you guys, but you know somebody that this is happening to, way of explaining this and expressing it. See, there are three universal laws that you have to be able to take command of. And when you take command of these three universal laws, then the world of abundance will open up to you. The world of, I promise you, I promise you, the world of abundance will open up to you if you begin to take command of these three universal laws. But like I said, success is in the details. You have to get into the details. You have to make sure you're accountable for the details in order for it to happen. So what are these three universal laws? Well, it's the law of polarity, the law of rhythm, and the law of cause and effect. Now, I know many of you are going to say, oh, you should add the law of vibration to this one. But no, I'm not, because the law of vibration will automatically be rendered within this one if you get these three. So first, let's start with the basic. The law of rhythm. The law of polarity. What is the law of polarity? The law of polarity says that two things that may seem opposite are actually the same exact thing. They are the exact same thing. You think that there's hot and then there's cold, but no, there is only temperature. So there's extreme heat. Let's say there's 1,000 degrees right here, and there's a negative 1,000 degrees right here. There are only temperature, and there's a bunch of different temperatures in between, 2,000 temperatures in between. And if you get into the point whatever and the point whatever, there's a big, huge number of temperatures in between. And here's the thing: at 98 degrees, some people, if you grew up in Alaska, will say that is blazing hot. Whereas 98 degrees to people who grew up along the equator, they may say, that's good. I can get down with that, especially if I got a sea breeze. So it's all perspective as to if it's hot or if it's cold. No one can tell where hot and cold begins. You can't say it began here, but maybe it does for you. And then depending upon where you live, as the seasons flow, it changes based on your perspective. So understand, everything exists on a pole. And the example that we're going to use today, we're going to use jail. We're going to use jail. We're going to use jail. You know why? Because I talk to a lot of people who have been to jail, right? And the thing about going to jail or going to prison is that many of the people are in and out and in and out and in and out, and they never seem to be able to change their lives. And I know we can look and say, well, the system has everything against them, and they have to say that they have a felony, and all these different things happen. But yet we know that there are those who have been in prison and they have escaped that same rhythm, which brings me to the law of rhythm. The law of rhythm says that for however far to the right you swing, you're going to swing back to the left. That your life keeps ebbing and it keeps flowing. That you'll have good days and you'll have bad days. But however great your good day is how bad your worst day can be. So if you've had extreme elation, you are set up to have deep, deep, deep depression. You understand? So the masters understand polarity, where you minimize the swing, but most people have already minimized your swing. You're doing that anyway. I know the Kabbalion says that only the masters can polarize themselves, but no, you are mastering the polarity that you're on right now. You're mastering the swing that you have right now. You meet people, you have these people in your family. I know, I have them in my family who have been in and out of jail, in and out of prison, and it seems like they'll get out and they'll be doing well, they'll be doing pretty good, but then something will happen and bam, they go right back in. They got to do another bid, you know. Yeah, they got to do another bid. That is the right word. They got to do another bid. And so then they get back out and everything's going, they start building their life back and everything starts going well, but then boom, something happens, they get caught up into the game again and bam, they go right back into prison. So they're going in and out. It gets so bad that they know everybody in the prison. They can break down everything that happens in prison. So they are experiencing that law of rhythm. You do it too. Your health, you lose 10, 20 pounds, and then something happens in life that you get caught up in work, or you have a family member that passes away, or you move, or you get a new job, or you have a baby, or you get married, or you start dating a new person, and then all of a sudden you gain that 10 pounds back. Right? And then you lose, then something happens that say, oh, I got to lose this weight. You have like a competition at work, or you have people and friends and family who say we're going to get healthy, or a family member get sick and you lose that 10 pounds again. But then here comes something else. You find out that you got some kind of medical issue and bam, you go right back to where it was. But see, you are polarizing in that same swing, that exact same swing. But the other part, the last law, is cause and effect, because there is a cause to every effect. There's no such thing as luck or chance, nor is there such thing as coincidence. The word coincidence actually used to be a mathematical term that meant when two things coincide together perfectly, right? It primarily described the triangle. When the angles coincide perfectly on purpose, that is a coincidence. But we've changed the word. The word has changed. Just like the word awful used to mean full of awe. Like, ooh, I am full of awe of the beauty of the day. But now it means, oh, that awful storm came through, or that awful person, or that dude had awful breath. It now means something totally different. So words do change their meaning as we go through time, but there is no such thing as luck or chance, right? So because there's no such thing as luck and chance, there's always a reason behind it. You may not be able to figure out what the causal factor is all the time, but there's always a root. And one of the problems of not being able to understand what the root is because we only look at the symptoms of most things instead of trying to dig and find out what the root is. We only look at the individual and not look at the environment that the individual in, or we look at the environment and we forget to look at the individual, when those two cannot be separated. Those two are always one and the same, unified together, affecting one another. It will be like looking at a person who has a front but has no back. That's an impossibility. In order to have a front, you have to have a back. In order for a road to travel north, there has to be a south. But I'm going to put you on a one-way street, where even though we know in reality, even a one-way street that goes north and south, and even though all the traffic is going north, we know that you had to first come from the south to get to the north. Just like you have to go from the east to get to the west, or the west to get to the east, or the north to get to the south. But we're going to put you on a one-way road. And in doing so, you will be able to master these three laws. How do we do it? Well, I've already told you. You do it by mastering the details, by making sure that you don't allow the details of your life to overwhelm you to the point where you continue to swing in a lower part of the pole. You see, right now, wherever you are on the pole, if you got that friend, that family member who's in prison, when they get out of prison, you have to say, okay, they have a mentality already that gets them back and forth, where they may already be defeated and think the best thing I can do is, the best place I can go is. Like, I had members of my family who were swinging back and forth, but then they saw that a family member who got their CDL and they started driving long haul trucks, over the road trucks, and then their lives began to change, and then they started having families, they started getting married, they started having babies, and so they had causal factors that changed their environment, and that was the secondary important part. The causal factors changed their environment, which at the same time changed their mindset. But in order to do that, it was details that came into play. The details of seeing and modeling after a family member who changed their ways by getting a CDL license and then making enough money to satiate whatever needs that they had, so they didn't run for that fast money. And then as they saw that, they saw others raise their children into having a better life. They start realizing how their upbringing, hanging around certain people, changing their environment, changed their life. They start focusing on the details that got them there. Where they live, they started moving away from where they lived previously and moved into a different environment, changing the details of their life. They started going and listening to my financial advice and other people in the family's financial advice, and started taking control and command of their finances down to the detail. Just like the people who do my financial alchemy program. You know you have to do your 70-10-10-10 plan. You know you have to turn in a budget so that you can see exactly where your money is going. You need to be accountable for every dollar that you spend and every dollar that you receive, and have a plan as to where it goes. The success is in the details. By doing that, then you begin to, yes, some say right now, vibrate differently. But that vibration is caused because you change the causes so that you get a different effect. And when you change those causes to get a different effect, it automatically increases your vibration. And when your vibration increases, then you start moving higher up the scale. But wait a minute. As high as you go to the right is as high as you can, is as low as you can go to the left. So how do we stop this over here? Again, how do we stop from swinging? We get back into the details. We create triggers. We create triggers in our lives that say that, okay, I've experienced this level of torment as far as my health, my weight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to always have a picture of myself in poor health. I'm going to always have a picture of that family member that gave me the inspiration to change my life because I saw how detrimental their health was to them, or that family member that was my rah-rah that always supported me. I'm going to have that trigger. I'm also going to have the trigger of making sure my clothes are laid out every day to go work out. I'm going to have that trigger that says I'm not going to go home first. I'm going straight to the gym. That trigger that says I'm going to put the water in the front of the refrigerator and put the sweet stuff in the back of the refrigerator. That trigger that says that, you know, once I get home, that I'm not going to turn on the TV, or I'm going to have a timer set on the TV so it won't even turn on until after a certain time, so that I don't get caught up into the TV. We set up a trigger. We have a trigger that shows, that reminds us that those family members who went to jail, went to prison, that reminds them that they went to jail, went to prison. Maybe it's the food that is the big trigger for them, that they hated the food. Maybe it's a picture of them in jail, a mugshot, or whatever it is that they hang up on the wall or put on their desk that they can always go look at, so that when they're over here paying attention to the details and they're vibrating high and their life is going great, then they started to like wane just a little bit. They start not paying attention to the details, and then all of a sudden they see that trigger and they go right back to vibrating at a higher level, instead of letting themselves slip. No, they slip a little bit and polarize themselves right back. Oh, we went on vacation, we had a great time, we spent a little bit more money than we should have spent. My trigger is that every month, me and my spouse, me and my girl, me and my whomever, my husband, we sit down, we go over the budget, and we see that we did not manage our budget exactly the way we planned it. So we look at each other and say, okay, for next month we have to recover, so that they don't start slipping and say, well, you know, it's all right, you know, we'll be all right, we'll catch up later. No, we're going to catch up immediately right now. So some of that fund money in that 10%, that fund money, we're going to take from the fund money. Since we had our fun on this vacation, we're going to take from the fund money, so that you don't keep slipping. You know, you don't want to be like, time keeps on slipping, slipping. Some of you young people won't even know the song for that one, but you should go listen to it. Into the future. Time keeps slipping into the future. That's not the name of the song, just how it goes. But anyhow, that is how you master those three things, by paying attention to the details, understanding the three Hermetic laws that says that everything is on a pole, recognize what the pole is, then recognize where you are on the pole, then recognize what your swing is on the pole, your rhythm, because everything has its ebbs and flows, and then say what are the causal factors to the root that is creating this swing. And when you do that, you can then start effectively having triggers that makes you swing more to the right, swing more to the right, then stay to the right. And anytime you backslide to the left, you hit those triggers again and swing more to the right. You keep your constant triggers going so that you stay to the right. And that is how you master your life. One of the first steps to mastering your life. We can go into the law of mentalism. I'm just going to think it and it's just going to appear. No. Yes, you can have your imagination, you can have your dream, you can have your goal, but your first goal is, how can I be more successful today than I was yesterday? How can I be more attentive to the details today than I were yesterday? Those are your first goals. That is your daily goal. Let your daily goals lead you to your higher goal, your yearly goal, your 5-year goal, because the details are in your daily goals, right? The daily improvements, the daily focus, the daily attention. And yes, meditating is a great way to keep yourself focused. Yes, if you pray, prayer is a great way to keep you focused. Having a system is an amazing way to keep you focused. But you got to have those things working for you and not against you. And not against you, because you can have your mentalism and say, I'm meditating on it, I'm praying on it, I'm wishing for it, I'm speaking into an existence. You can do all that all day. But if there's no work, if there's no system behind it, it doesn't work. Look at the earth. Look outside your window. There is a system in play with the trees and the air and the sun and the water and the rain and the dirt and the river and the ocean. There is a huge system at work. This earth does not function without a system. So why do you think you can function without a system? You can't. Even a bad, corrupt system still has a good system attached to it. But it is still a system. And you got to have a system in order for it to work. So I hope that you guys gain a great... I know that if you listen to the whole thing, and let me know in the comment section, let me know if you listened to the whole thing, and let me know if you got it, if you understood it, if it's something that you know you can employ in your life right now. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week, right the frick now. Can you employ it into your life? Did you gain enough understanding of it to do that right now? Can you look at yourself and say, what have I been floating on? What have I been not paying attention to the details on? Oh, that. What has caused me to not pay attention to those details? Oh, that. What triggers can I put in place to make sure that I am focused on those details? Oh, that. What system can I do in order to get me on those details? Oh, that. And if you need help, get the freaking help. Whether it's me or somebody else, get the help. So if you do want me to help you, go to CoachRenz.com and I'll be more than happy to help you through one of my programs. And like I said, if you want to keep supporting the channel, you can order from Uncle Renz Popcorn, and we'll ship that to you real quick. And also, continue to support me on Patreon. I appreciate that. And we got to hit that subscribe button on YouTube, because we want to hit that 5,000 subscribers real soon. So I appreciate everybody who is subscribing and hit the bell icon. All the new people that I've met over the last week, amazing. Glad to meet you. I enjoyed talking to you guys, and thank you for letting me be a part of your life. I really appreciate that. So this is your Coach Renz, and remember, always, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable.